I have promised, and I will now deliver, the next chapter in the Nanaia Mahuta, issue. There is an official investigation underway into the granting of uncontested government contracts and positions to members of Minister Nanaia Mahuta's family. And because of that, we thought it might be interesting to see what claims her husband, William Gannon Ormsby, has, and his company, Ka Awatea Services Limited, might have to be experts in waste management. That is the field in which some of the $100,000 plus in government contracts they've been awarded lie. Well, Mr. Gannon Ormsby has no tertiary or special or specific qualification in waste management or circular economies. He is a former New Zealand soldier. One presumes he may have dug the odd latrine. Strangely, though, the company that he solely and wholly owns, called Ka Awatea Services Limited, KASL, and which is the recipient of more than $100,000 in government contracts, well, it does have a history in waste management or in this field. You see, back in 2020, 1st of July 2020, KASL, Ka Awatea Services Limited, was a wholly owned subsidiary of a Hamilton company or Hamilton-based company called Global Metal Solutions. They were scrap metal merchants. On the 7th and 8th of July 2020, Gannon Ormsby became a director and shareholder of the company Ka Awatea Services Limited. 20% of its shares were transferred into his name, the rest still residing with the shareholders of this metal recycling firm. The remaining 80% of Ka Awatea was transferred to the three existing owners of Global Metals, and that effectively severed all ties in a business sense between Global Metals and its previous subsidiary company. Just 3 days later, on the 10th of July, the Associate Environment, Local Government and Māori Affairs Minister, Nanaia Mahuta, and another Labour MP turned up at the opening of Global Metal Solutions' new plant in Auckland. Nanaia Mahuta turned up with her husband. We have a photograph of them there together. The opening of the Auckland plant highlighted the purchase of an overseas-built metal shredder, secured with the help of a Kiwi bank credit facility and a trade import guarantee granted by the Treasury. Fast forward to September of 2020, and the remaining shares in Ka Awatea are transferred from the owners of Global Metal Solutions to William Gannon Ormsby, who then becomes the 100% owner and sole director of Ka Awatea Services Limited. We might also note that in 2021, Global Metals won an award for Māori Exporter of the Year from the New Zealand Trade and Enterprise Board, and in addition, one of its directors, Craig Tohoro, was appointed by Trade Minister Damien O'Connor to the Advisory Board on Trade. The questions this chain of events raise is, did Minister Mahuta know when she turned up with her husband to help launch its new facility in Auckland that her husband was in the midst of a major transaction with Global Metals? In what capacity did the minister attend the opening? And was her attendance in any way linked to the subsequent commercial deal? Those are questions. They are questions that should be included in the official investigation by the Ministry for the Environment. But I say the Ministry for the Environment is not the appropriate body to investigate these goings-on. This requires more separation. And I think the Auditor General, the State Services Commissioner, or indeed the Ombudsman, should now be the bodies to look at all these events. I might also note, and whilst we have not verified or checked these yet, there are suggestions that Global Metals is looking to build a major and controversial recycling plant that could have big environmental impacts. And of course, this is all part of the issues which are being dealt with by Mr. Gannon Ormsby and the advisory board he is on, and by the government and by the minister. In a functional open democracy, these issues have to be tested. The platform is not accusing anyone of malfeasance. It is not accusing anyone of a crime. But it is saying on the evidence provided to date, these things are worthy of investigation. And indeed, to maintain our status as a relatively corruption-free country, we should prove that nothing corrupt or questionable has gone on here. At present, I don't think anyone, hand on their heart, could say that with certainty. So it is up to our government to prove that nothing has gone wrong, because Caesar's wife must not only be above suspicion, she must be seen to be above suspicion. We will have more on the Mahuta family, and I understand that opposition MPs have more questions to ask of the government in Parliament. We are encouraged to see that mainstream media, despite an initial reluctance, are now claiming, indeed, this story as their own. We don't claim it as our own. There is much of this going on the internet, on blog sites and other things, but we see it as the platform's job to draw attention to this, and if you like, guilt mainstream media into actually doing their job.